Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm the Conservation Lead South. We're here in Landford Bog, which is one of our nature reserves down in the New Forest. Bogs are an incredibly important habitat. They store plenty of carbon through a process of creating peat. So all through this bog we've got layers of sphagnum moss, which is this incredible little plant, and in wet areas it builds up, and over time it creates layers and layers and layers of an anoxic, acid-rich substrate which prevents any decomposition, and this over the time it builds up layers and layers and layers and stores a lot of our carbon. That carbon can be lost through traditional means like turf cutting, where we cut for peat, or in places where there are accidental wildfires from things like barbecues or drying of the bog. So some of the things that we do to try and preserve this incredibly rare habitat is that we try and retain the water on site. And we do this through a number of means, such as leaky dams, which hold the water back in high flows, and trying to encourage less tree growth so that there is less transpiration from the bog, and trying to keep the levels of reed and rush and grass at a sustainable level through cattle grazing. There are plenty of really interesting species that use the bog and call it home. So over the years we've had adders here, we have some nationally rare butterflies like the silver-studded blue, whose caterpillars feed on heather and gorse, and we also have several really interesting plants. Now, because it's a bog, there are some difficulties with getting nutrients. So what some plants do is they resort to eating meat, and so several of the plants in this bog are meat eaters. We have two of them in particular. We have the pale butterwort and we have the sundew. Sundews are really, really incredible. They lure insects to them with a pheromone and are covered in sticky little droplets, so that when a mosquito hatches, finds the nearest sweet-smelling thing, lands on it, and the sundew will roll up and digest it. There are also several other species in here, like bog asphodel and marsh orchid, which just round out this really lovely, very special habitat. This is a really, really interesting place. It changes a lot over the year. So at the moment, at the height of summer and a drought year, it's very dry underfoot. In the winter, this place is riddled with pools, with streams, and some very deep water. So you have to hop from tussock to tussock. So we recommend you stick to the designated paths. There are also some interesting creatures which use the water as a hunting ground. There are dragonflies which hawk over here, and we also have one of the UK's largest spiders, the Raft spider. Now, there are several sensationalist headlines about the Raft spider's larger cousin, the fen raft spider, which can eat all sorts of things, including dragonfly larvae, tadpoles, small frogs, potentially even very, very small fish. But these ones are a little bit smaller, and they hunt by putting their legs out onto the water and feeling it rather like a terrestrial spider does with a web, and then they can scuttle across the surface of the water to catch tadpoles. Or, if they're in danger, they can actually dive under the water and hide out there until the danger's passed. We have several really interesting bird species that call this home or pass through. We have various siskins, jays, and we also have several birds of prey. There are peregrine falcons that come over with relative frequency, and we also see things like sparrowhawks coming through and hunting through the wooded areas. So because it's such a delicate balance, we have to do quite a lot of work to keeping this transitional habitat in good shape. So over the year, you'll see us coming through. We'll be cutting back some of the gorse and some of the birch to open up areas and reduce how much water is taken up by their roots, increasing the area of the bog. This is to create more of this really rare heath habitat where the heather can take root, and to start to push back some of the tree growth that has come in where the cattle haven't been eating quite as much as they should. So through the winter we'll be doing a lot of volunteering experience. Bring your wellies, because it will get very wet, but it is always a lovely, lovely experience, and we always see some quite cool stuff. There are plenty of things that can be done if you're in the area or coming to visit Landford Bog for the first time or your 10th time. There is always citizen science, so we always appreciate records of butterfly species, of our spider species. If you do happen to venture out into the bog and minding your step as you go, then any of the plants that you come across, some of them are quite rare. So keep a careful eye on them, try not to trample them, but do submit records to your local records centre. There is also, of course, plenty of volunteering to be done over the winter months with our wonderful estates team, all to keep this place in its best possible quality.